I've been helping adults learn languages for more than 10 years, 12, something like that. And there is one thing that frustrates me a lot. Something that strangely frustrates me more than frustrates them. It's the type of results they are getting. If you talk to anyone learning a language, the most typical experience they would have is that I've used Duolingo, I bought a textbook, I went to some classes, I tried this app, this new AI app, this old method from Michel Thomas, whatever, Babel. They try a lot of things. And then if you ask them, so how do you feel now? They say, oh, I can understand a bit. Reading is fine. Reading is always fine for some reason. But speaking, it's complicated. It doesn't work. Like I feel like I'm not there yet. Maybe it's my grammar. Maybe it's my personality because I'm an introvert. Something is not working. And what is fascinating about that is that you can guess that this problem has been around for a long time. I mean, if you were learning a language in the 90s, probably people had this issue and were thinking like, well, maybe we don't have the right tools, maybe we don't have the right technology yet. We are in 2026. We are talking about AI and robots all the time. We are living in the future already. And the problem with language learning, it's still not solved by classes, even though the teachers are having like 5 years of study, like decades of experience. It's not solved by apps, even with Duolingo that has like millions and millions in investment and it's supposed to be a great app. It's not, even AI doesn't solve it. The moment you realize you need to speak more, even conversation practice, normal conversation practice with a tutor doesn't solve this problem. Because the problem we are trying to solve is not a language learning problem. It's a deeply, fundamentally human problem. It cannot be solved with more of the same. The problem you're facing, probably, if you're listening to me and if you resonate with what I say usually in my videos and emails, is that you freeze, you cannot find your words, you cannot string sentences together. And that's not a problem of like not knowing grammar. I'm pretty sure you've studied a bit of grammar, you know how it works. The problem you're facing is that your brain is taught to play it safe when you learn a language. You put language learning in the knowledge category with geography, with math, with all of these things that you study. My belief is that if you're studying French, you're probably not on the right way to learn the language, to speak the language, because speaking is a skill. It does include some knowledge of grammar. It does include pronunciation, of course, prosody, all of these things that come with speech. But speaking a language is a skill, and it should be practiced like a skill. People don't study guitar by reading books about how to play the guitar. They don't study swimming by reading books about how to swim or even watch videos on how to swim. No, when you want to acquire a skill, you need to do the skill and you need to have feedback on how to do it. And more importantly, when you're swimming, playing the guitar, doing martial arts, you don't have room to think. That's the point. You're not thinking. And that's why these activities are so enjoyable, because you forget about it. You're not hyper aware of every word and every phrase and every sentence and every grammar point you say. You forget about it. So if you're watching this and you're wondering what's missing for you to be able to speak French, I can tell you whatever your level is, if it's A1, A0, B2, C1, if you feel that you freeze and you're not confident speaking French, more lessons, more classes, more apps will not solve your problem because you have a skill problem, not a knowledge problem. So the only way to fix this is very simple. It's actually extremely straightforward, for me at least. What we do at Solve Languages and why we are called Solve Languages is that we just want to solve a problem. The first thing is, what do you want to be able to do? Because learning French is too big of a task. It doesn't mean anything. Do you want to be able to do rap battles in French by next week? Or do you want to be able to have conversations in French by the end of the month with your neighbor confidently? Both of these things require learning French, but if you know where you want to go, then it's easy to find the shortest path or at least a path you would enjoy. So that's very important. So the first question is, what are the conversations you want to be able to have? What are the conversations that will unlock your life? A job interview, talking with your in-laws, and finally feeling yourself with your friends and family, being able to get things done in France with phone calls, with all of these situations that are very stressful and very specific. Whatever the conversation is, let's start with the thing that will change your life for real. Then once we have that, let's break it down. There are two things. There are the skills and there is some knowledge. The knowledge would be like, what do you need to understand? What are the phrases people would say? What do you need to be able to say? So if you understand most of the things, we cannot cover everything. It's very hard to predict everything in a conversation, but the most likely patterns, the phrases, the building blocks of the conversation, if you can anticipate them, train your ear in an efficient way, not by just listening to podcasts or watching Netflix, like real comprehension practice with the right tools. It's very simple. Hear a sentence, check if you understand, do it again. If you can practice comprehension this way, and you can practice recalling, what you want is not to use grammar and vocabulary in your head to build a sentence. It is too long, too complicated. You don't think about your muscles when you're moving. You do the movement because you practice many times. The movement is natural to you. It's the same with the phrases when you recall them. You just know what to say. In French, explaining the grammar or building this sentence by yourself would have been impossible most of the time because it's actually very complex grammar. But it's a simple phrase. People say it. Like nobody invented bon appetit in French. No, it's just a phrase people use. So it's the same way. If you learn the right phrases, you will sound like a native because those are the phrases that natives use. So imagine now, you know your goal, you know your phrases, you can understand things, you can say things. The only thing that's missing is really the skill of confident, fluent conversations. And how do you do that? Well, confidence comes from the fact that you learn to trust yourself when you speak. Look, I just took one theme and decided to talk about it because I've learned to relax and trust myself when I speak. It's the same in any language. Yesterday, I was fooling around with a German friend and he really thought I was very good at speaking German. I'm not at all. But I was very just relaxed and having fun with the language. And so that's the same. If you have this attitude with the French language, people will not interrupt you. People will not switch to English because they will see that, oh, this is a relaxed conversation. And if this person doesn't understand something, it doesn't block everything. No, just like you go with the flow. So that's something to learn. And most classrooms don't teach you that because it's against the philosophy they have that you should speak correctly. That's the most important thing, to not make mistakes. And it's much easier to correct mistakes as a teacher than to correct mindset. But that's what we do. In our group classes, we encourage our students to just bully the French language. Just use it in a weird way. Make up your own words if you want, because this attitude is much more useful than making perfect sentences. You're slow and you speak like a textbook. And you know what French people do in this case? They are like, tu parles très bien. Let's switch to English. That's usually what they do because you just communicated that you cannot speak French, even though you just said a perfect sentence in French. So confidence comes from there. And fluency, basically it's a byproduct of confidence and the phrases you've learned before. The way I define fluency in a very reductive way, which is not, I think, the official definition of fluency, if there is one, is how many words per minute can you say? And in real life, this is really something that people pay attention to. When you speak French, even if you speak nonsense, but you use a lot of fillers and you repeat your phrases, for example, so you say a lot of words per minute, you fool people into the fact that you're fluent. Let's imagine. Somebody asks me where I'm from. Let's say I barely speak English. I don't understand the question, and so I will just go with like, yeah, good question. Where I'm from? You know, it's funny because it's actually a long story. I said nothing of substance. I just used fillers, but it sounds very fluent. That's how natives speak. I mean, like if you listen to French people, they don't make clear sentences. They're like, ouais, bon, bah, du coup, en fait, bah, tu vois, le truc, c'est que, bah, voilà, quoi. And I swear to you, if you speak French like that, just the way I said, they will believe your French is like perfect, because that communicates perfect communication in French. That communicates fluency, that communicates confidence. So these things are missing with every solution you look at, because they are not considering the thing that you want. You want fluent, confident conversations. And you say that to most teachers. You go to Alliance Française, you go to Duolingo, whatever. They will tell you, "Oh, wow, great. Yeah, we give you that. Learn this grammar rule." You don't need grammar. You want fluency, you want confidence, you want conversations. All right. So if what I'm talking about here really resonates with you, and you want to understand how we can help you over 12 weeks reach your goals, whatever they are, however ambitious you are, whatever your level is. But like basically to go from frozen and translating in your head to I can actually use this language now. I speak French. It's messy. It's not always perfect, but I have the confidence of speaking the language. Basically unlocking your potential in French. So then you can have any conversation, because you can apply the method to any conversation and keep growing. So if you're interested in that, there is a button or under this video that I will put. You click on it, you will book a call with us, and you will have a call with someone from our team that will help you diagnose your problem first and then define where you want to go. And then we'll create a roadmap and show you how we can bring you from where you are to where you want to go. And if we think that we cannot do it for some reason, because like we are not the best fit for you, or you think you don't like what we offer, or maybe that doesn't seem to be what you want, that's fine. We just like move on, end the call. And usually we make recommendations for other resources when we see that people need something different from us. But if you are really looking for confidence, fluency, and to have the conversations that matter in your life as an expat, that's what we do. And we are pretty proud of our method and the results we get. So hope to see you soon.